The idea of positioning is defining, just as I've said it a couple of times, and I'm going to say it a lot more, the problem that we solve and how we solve it. There's a lot of ways that you could be, I am a personal trainer or I am a health and fitness professional. It's like saying I exercise. If someone you say, "Hey, what do you do for a hobby?" They're like, "I exercise." That almost means nothing because it's too general, it's undefined. Somebody that does yoga and tai chi is then in the same category as somebody that does CrossFit. So if somebody was like, "Hey, would you like to come exercise with me?" You have no idea what to expect. And so we want to make sure that as trainers, we are not general. We don't want to say, I do personal training or I create custom programs or I will help you be fit. It's way too general. And that's somewhat categorically what every trainer does. So when we use this kind of statement formula of who do we train, the problem we solve, and how we solve it, it helps to define our service, and then it helps us both find the people that we want to work with, but more importantly, the kind of person that we want to work with is able to find us. It's not just for outbound marketing, it's to help inbound marketing. So this is not just for the client. For a lot of people starting a business, it's really for us to figure out, yeah, what, like, who do I want to work with? What kind of problems do I want to solve? And then how do I do it? Like a mission statement. So we'll go through like kind of each step. It's just going to have a bunch of examples. So hopefully along the way, you could just point out like, oh yeah, I want to work with like elderly men or menopausal women, or it's just kind of, you can just pick and choose like a menu. You don't really have to come up with it. So when we think about a person, there's going to be some demographics. This is usually numbers related to the person. It's going to be like, how old are they? Are they going to be children, adolescents, teens? Are they going to be young adults? Are they going to be middle-aged adults? Are they going to be seniors? Are they going to be vampires, very, very old? It's going to be perhaps what they do for work or even what sectors they work in. Do you want to work with people that are in finance, in hospitality, in education, stay-at-home moms? What is their income range? Is it low, medium, or high income? Even when it comes to like life stages, are they going to be single, unmarried? Are they new parents? Are they retired? Are they empty nesters? So these are just like characteristics of people. The other part are these psychographics. These are going to be like the mentalities of the individuals. Um, are they sad? Are they excited to exercise? Do they often get confused when it comes to how to become healthy? So it's their mindset when it comes to different things. This is the emotional tether that we'll connect to next. When we think about the problem that we're solving from like a personal training standpoint or health and fitness standpoint, it's like, oh, we're trying to slow the rate of decline or improve your bone density or increase your muscle mass. There's something almost kind of like tangible about it, mechanical about it, and what they want to do. I would like to lose 50 pounds. I would like to do this. That is going to be one part of it. The other part has to be the emotional problem that we're solving. So if a person is like, oh, I want to lose 50 pounds, why? Why aren't you just satisfied with how you are right now? There's this feeling that they'll have related to the problem. A lot of people, when they come in and I give them the questionnaire, but they come in, I'm like, okay, how did we come here today? Usually when you meet a personal trainer, it's not their first line of defense. They've usually gone through a bunch of attempts and then they're like, I need an adult. And so they'll say like, I went to the gym. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just embarrassed. I don't feel like I belong. Or when they exercise themselves, they're afraid to do it because they have this knee injury. And every time they exercise, they get hurt again. So the problem is they have bad knees, but it's also they're afraid of re-injury or afraid of hurting it. Person may say, I just get out of breath. Okay, well, that's the problem. You get out of breath. What's the emotional problem? I can't play with my kids and create memories. I feel like I can't participate in my kid's childhood. And I know that like my parent was always out of breath and out of shape, and they could never play with me. And they have that memory. They don't want to pass that down. That is much stronger of a problem to solve than just I get winded. And so those are going to be two things that you'll want to take a look at. We'll have big lists that you'll have to select from of possible problems that are going to be more mechanical, but then also the emotional connection that's there, because that's going to be part of your messaging. When it comes to how you solve the problem, there's going to be a typical process. It could be, we do a movement assessment, or we do some like body composition. We'll figure out your VO2 max. If it comes to like more like weight loss, we're like, okay, well, let's figure out what your metabolic rate is and your activity level, and let's kind of figure out your macros. There's some portion of solution that has a very defined outcome. And then it's going to be how what you do relates to their problem. So if someone says like, I have really bad knees and I don't want to get hurt, we're like, okay, well, if we do a movement assessment, we can probably find a muscle imbalance that is leading to your knee injury. Or if someone's like, I diet all the time, I just can't seem to lose weight. It's like, okay, what we're going to do is figure out a little bit more accurately, maybe how many calories you burn, and then we'll give you an appropriate deficit from that. And that'll give you more guidance. So you're not just like, I'm eating less, but it gives you a little bit more of a target. So part of it is going to be the process. Hey, we do this thing in order to help you with your problem. We have to kind of make that connection. So we have like two examples here. We've got a former athlete with injuries. So their problem is old injuries limit movement and cause pain. And they're frustrated that they can't do activities that they love. They feel like their identity of being an athlete is slipping away. So the solution is to rebuild their movement quality and strength in order to return back to their activities pain-free. The way we're going to do that is to assess your movement, fix that shit, and then progressively add load over time, making sure that they're going to be safe. The other one could be the mom who wants to lose weight or wants to lose fat, gained weight since having kids, feels lost in the gym. I have no idea what to do. I'm frustrated that every time I've tried to diet, it just didn't stick. So it's like, okay, let's lose fat and build gym confidence by doing things that you can do. So not look at a short-term diet, but let's do something like a flexible diet. Let's work with what you know how to do and work from there. That's actually a big thing when it comes to, precision nutrition. So I'm sure, Tara, when you're going through it, it's like, how do you look at somebody's habits from a skills perspective? The number of people that I've worked with that are like, I don't know how to lose weight. I can't lose weight. It's like, okay, well, when do you eat from home? They're like, I never eat from home. They're like, why not? Because I cook like shit. Well, it's okay. Let's actually have you go take a cooking class and buy Tupperware. So it's, it's like you can't go running if you don't have shoes. You can't meal prep if you have nowhere to put it. Let's use all four burners, not just that one burner that just gets used like crazy. Okay, I'm back on my tangent. All right. So in terms of example 2, the method is going to be like, we're going to guide you through straightforward workout routine. We're going to start with just basics that you can master. We'll just loosely track body composition over time. And then let's start with easy nutrition habits and go from there. Let's just start by drinking water and then maybe go for protein and then maybe this and that. So there's their problem, which is I can't lose weight and I just don't even want to do it again. Frustration. It's like, okay, well, we can't just say, let's figure out how to lose weight at a caloric deficit. How do we solve the frustration? How do we get them to feel like they can actually do it? So the positioning framework is a formulaic sentence. So I help something about the person, their demographic or whatever, with the problem that they have, both call it mechanical and emotional, with some kind of solution in order to. Another way to emotionally look at it is there's actually two types of emotional things that they're dealing with. There's an emotional pain they're going away from to go toward an emotional aspiration. So they want to go away from feeling guilty in order to feel confident, or they want to go away from feeling fearful in order to feel, competent, like they know how to do things. So there's like an away from a bad emotion towards a good emotion. So we have just kind of some examples here, and I kind of highlighted just so you can see the different parts. So I help busy parents who feel guilty about their health get strong with 40-minute sessions twice a week using compound movements. Or I help people who feel intimidated by the gym learn to lift weights with confidence by teaching basic movement patterns and technique before adding weight. So these statements are pretty dense, but they're compilations of things that you can kind of choose when it comes to who is your ideal client moving forward. Or if you've been training for a while, what's a common denominator in the people that you work with? So when I initially started training, I was like, I don't even know who I'm trying to train. I don't know. Oh, I didn't know all these things. I just knew how to teach training. But in terms of like putting into a business, I really didn't. And so I just knew I liked systems. So I was like, okay, we're going to do an assessment. I'll create a program based on that. And then I'll just coach quality. That's what I was just doing. So along the way, the people that stayed with me just enjoyed that I was pretty logical in how I made the decisions and how I coached quality over quantity. So basically, those two things. Individuals that just wanted to work out or just get tired at the end of a session, just what they were looking for was not matching something that I enjoyed. And so over time, I've kind of learned that the people that I work with generally don't enjoy exercise. They have lots of aches and pains, but they know that they'll need to. And so I help people that are unfamiliar with exercise ultimately become familiar and enjoy it.